Stuff you didn't know about the French Revolution. Back in the 1700s, French society was divided into three estates. The first estate was the clergy, and for the most part, the church had a vested interest in propping up the second estate, the wealthy French monarchy. The third estate was made up of the common people, and they were rapidly growing fed up with the first two estates. Even though the third estate comprised the overwhelming majority of the population of France, the way things were set up, they had the least amount of power, and they were constantly getting outvoted in the legislative assembly by the first and second estates. But as the population of French peasants grew, it also meant there was a growing demand for food and consumer goods. On top of all that, France's participation in the American Revolution had driven the country to the brink of bankruptcy. By 1789, France was the country with the largest population in Europe. But after a series of crop failures, that meant you had a whole lot of poor and hungry people demanding political reforms. On June 17, 1789, 500 members of the Third Estate, along with a few liberal noblemen and some clergymen, all got together and began calling themselves the National Assembly. They showed up at their meeting hall only to find the doors were locked and guarded by royal troops. But this wasn't going to stop them, though. The meeting hall was just a building, after all. The heart of the revolution was in the people who demanded justice. One of those members of the group came up with the idea to meet on one of the empty Versailles tennis courts. It was there on that tennis court that members of the National Assembly took an oath to stick together until a new French constitution had been drafted. This is considered by many historians to be the start of the French Revolution against the wealthy monarchy. Oh, and that guy who came up with the idea for everyone to meet on the tennis court? Well, he was a French doctor with a name that you'll all find very familiar. One that would come to be very closely associated with the French Revolution. His name was Joseph Ignace Guillotine.